Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
One Hot and Ready Classic. We actually changed it with...
What? You've changed, Little Caesars. You've changed! You've changed! Ah! Tell me why.
It tastes even better because we added 33% more pepperoni.
Give me one of those.
Little Caesars Pizza in Murfreesboro. 4 locations: Memorial Boulevard, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Ford Parkway, and Warrior Drive.
Walk in and walk out with the new Hot and Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni.
Pizza.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Coach's Show is brought to you by JHA Company. That's Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and much more online at jhacompany.com. And Will Kreisky joins us, Riverdale head coach, to talk about last night's win, 36-0 over Smyrna. And look ahead, Coach. First one under the belt has to feel pretty good.
Yes, it does. Anytime you can start off week one with a win, it's a good thing, good way to start the year and season. And I'm proud of the guys. I told the guys the way they prepared themselves and the way they handled themselves yesterday. You never know coming in and being the first game and going through your pregame and your walkthroughs and just having downtime before the opening kickoff. And I was really proud of how they mentally prepared and got ready to play last night.
Well, and for game one, there's always, a flurry of activity going on and preparing, and I know everybody puts things together to try to get a game on. And when you host that first game, plus there was some extra emotion there last night, your guys seemed to play with confidence through all of that and really didn't show a lot of game one jitters. No,
and that's what I was really proud of, the way they handled themselves through everything and even through some adversity times last night. And, we got a kid, Ryan Edmiston, who's played for us for the last – since he's been a sophomore, he's been on the field. Well, he didn't get all he could do last night was punt. He has a minor injury. Hopefully he'll be back next week. And I was watching film last night, and that kid was behind me or the defensive coach or the offensive coach, and he was going crazy, ecstatic when things were going good, and he was coaching kids up on the sideline, trying to help them. And when you got seniors that do that, they're not even playing, that are invested. He wasn't over sitting on the bench pouting. He was encouraging, motivating, and coaching his teammates, coaching the guys that were playing in his spot last night. And that's the things you like as a coach.
John and I mentioned, with the offensive output that you had last night, his name did come up a couple of times. It's like, and he hasn't even gotten in the game. We didn't know about the injury part. So as important of a cog is in your offense as he is, defense, just all over the place. Did some great job punting last night, but some other guys stepped up and filled some roles. And you got, between Williams and Montgomery and Thompson, it was pretty good night.
We sure did miss Keyshawn last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
We sure did miss him.
That is a huge I was going to ask you about that too. So I'm sure you're very happy to have him.
Yes. I told somebody last night, a reporter, how upset. I took his injury harder than I've taken one in a long time. Keyshawn moved to us his second semester his freshman year from Jackson, Tennessee. And Coach Wells had his health class in gym. And Keyshawn just moved in, and Keyshawn took a basketball and dunked it. Coach Wells walked over to him and said, "Hey, Keyshawn, I'm Bobby Wells. I'm football coach here. You need to go meet Coach Kreisky." And he came and met me, and ever since then he's been a football player. So,
how about that?
Coach Wells left us with a great present.
Well, I did want to ask about that. That was part of that emotion that seemed to be there, and really for both sides, the true purple and gold from Smyrna. Obviously, those guys who've been there for so long knew Bobby, and Bobby leaving a legacy at Smyrna and then going to Blackman for 5 years and making an imprint there, and then coming to Riverdale for 15 years. I mean, that's over 3 decades of bringing up kids in this county, and I think you could feel that last night.
Yeah, you could really feel it, and our kids were emotional. Coach Wells was like everybody's granddaddy on the team.
Yeah.
You know, he's positive, happy, smiling, always encouraging, and I thought last night to get a shutout for him was something special. You know, being a defensive guy for so many years and getting that shutout at the end of the game. Smyrna started driving, and our kids that start on defense was encouraging the other guys to hold out stop, to get that stop, keep that 0 on the board, and that's as a coach seeing the whole team come together and encourage. And you know, we preach you got to love each other. If you don't love each other, you won't have any success. And I saw that last night. These guys truly love each other and care about each other. They don't care who scores. They just want this team to have success.
Well, one more thing about Bobby, we're going to get in a few years, we'll be past the number of kids that are actually at the school that had a direct impact, but his legacy is going to live on through those 30-plus years that he has coached, and many of those are into coaching and obviously left an imprint on you and your assistant coaches. And you know, he'll be there in spirit on Friday nights forever, I guess.
Yes, he will. He always will. And you know, he helped me through some times as being a head coach, and if I didn't have him, I don't know if I'd still be sitting in the seat right now. And he helped me get through all that, and he was a great mentor. And I said it last week how he even mentored the young coaches. He really invested in everybody, and he invested and he wanted to help people and make a positive impact on everybody.
Well, when you took this Riverdale job, you were still a very young pup, and so I'm sure that and there were a zillion things you had no clue what a head coach did, and to have somebody with his experience obviously was a godsend to you, I would think.
Yes, it was. It was a blessing.
We've got Will Kreisky joining us this morning. He's the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. Pardon me. We mentioned Williams, over 115 yards receiving, a couple of touchdowns. Brock Montgomery, gosh, what an addition. I got to see him last year when MTCS played Friendship, and my goodness, he really showed, or Ezel, I'm sorry, and really showed a lot there, and stepped up big for you guys last night. 14 catches, 76 yards, and a TD.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that kind of night from him. Brock, he's a different kid. He's a special kid, and he's battled mono for the last 4 weeks, and he got cleared on Thursday to play. And for him to have that much success last night and I never thought that he was tired. I never thought he was, he kept himself in good shape through the last 4 weeks, and it was pretty impressive to see the night that he had.
He's such a big target. I mean, and Braden did a great job of just laying the ball in there. Thompson, by the way, had a touchdown, and I want to talk about him defensively in a second. But Braden just seemed to be on fire. I mean, having a senior quarterback is a pretty good luxury, and he really showed that last night how it helps, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But, with Graham's success, you got to give the credit to the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I said that last week. A lot of people criticized them hard last year and stayed on them and was really tough on them. And those guys stuck together, bought in. Coach White and them have worked really hard this offseason and through preseason camp, and I was really proud how the offensive line worked together last night.
Will, 17 of 22, 261 yards passing for Braden, 5 touchdown passes in the 36-0 victory. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you put up points, but I think see-ball, get-ball worked pretty good last night.
It did. They played really well. Defensively, I think our D-line, that's what we've been worried about. I thought they came out and played really well, and they did a great job. JoJo Smith, Jamarion Smith, he started to become a leader for us. I saw him grow up last night. Some things we had question mark, and him and TD, Traylon Davis, did a great job getting everybody lined up, communicating, and having everybody on the same page, and I was really proud of those guys.
Well, I am certain you're going to walk away with probably more things to work on. What are your top 2 or 3 you think you need to improve on between this game and your next one at Henry County?
Yeah, we got a tough 3-game stretch, but Yeah, we got a lot of things to work on. Special teams, we had some blunders there. Now, Khalil Armand did an excellent job kicking the ball.
Boy, did he not?
Yes, when you can get those touchbacks, that makes the kickoff team a lot better.
So not only the touchbacks, but even if it was returnable, it was at the 1 or 2, and I think just about every time Smyrna started inside the 20, even when they caught the ball to try to return it.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I think Khalil's field position really helped us last night. It backed him up early. I was back and forth if I wanted to receive or kick, and I said, we're going to kick. And so we were able to pin them back, and that really gave us momentum and gave us a short field. We had a short field the whole first half, and that really helped us, and that helped us gain confidence offensively.
Well, you scored a touchdown in that first couple of series, just trying to figure some things out, go up 8-0, and then the second quarter is where you put some distance with 3 touchdowns in that quarter, one right before the end of the half. So, I mean, your offense was efficient enough, and that had to give you guys confidence at halftime too.
Yeah, that last touchdown before half gave us a lot of confidence. I thought our guys, and I was really proud how they executed right before half with a little bit over 2 minutes to go when we got the ball, and to see them the way they executed, and Coach Barnes and his guys, and how they were on the same page, and I thought it was. I thought they did a great job.
Well, an overall great night. It's good to have a crowd like that. You got to say hats off to yourself and Smyrna for keeping that game. I think Smyrna opens up with 3 Murfreesboro teams on their schedule, but it's a whole lot easier to travel within the county and play those good teams and get ready for region play. Smyrna's always a good, solid football team.
Yeah, Smyrna's a really good football team, and Coach Williams does a really good job. And they graduated a lot, so for their first, they're gonna be a good football team. They'll get better every week. Each and every week, you'll see an improvement out of them.
What do you think about Henry County? That's the next opponent, and it's on the road.
Yeah, like you said, I wish we could stay in county, but unfortunately, we got to go 2.5-hour drive. And Henry County's a really good football team. They've semifinals last 3 out of 4 years. State runners up. They're traditionally really good, and they're the only show in town. So every kid, that's what you dream when you go to start elementary school there. The elementary school's right across the street, and that's all you know is Henry County football. They shut the town down. Their practice field will be filled with tents, and they'll start grilling and tailgating at noon on Friday, and it's different. And I'm excited to take our kids down there and see a place like that and see what they do. They'll be blowing a horn. There's a guy that blows a horn every second, and that's going to get on our nerves. But they're excited. They're talking about it. They've circled this game for a while, and there's nothing they would rather do than beat a Riverdale.
Well, putting together a road trip, and it's not like it's just hop on the bus and head 30 minutes somewhere. This is a nice long trip, so I guess you got to get plans together. Somebody works on that. I bet it's not you, is it?
Well, my booster club does an excellent job. Yeah. They do a great job coordinating all the pregame meals. I've texted some people I graduated with and trying to coordinate some of that stuff and trying to see if they'll get me some meals together. I told them I needed a hometown discount for a pregame meal and stuff, so they laughed. I got a few friends that are in the restaurant business in Henry County.
Oh, good.
Henry County, so they're working on it, and I got the elementary school. My mom taught there for 30-plus years, and she's actually retired from teaching and helping out at the school, so they got us the gym and the cafeteria reserved for next Friday night, so having a little connections going that far helps out a little bit.
There's still not going to be a parade for you in
No. I wasn't nowhere near that. But their head coach, James Counts Jr., his dad, senior, late, he passed away a few years ago. His dad and my dad coached together for 18 years. So it's going to be a special night for me personally to go back. And Junior and I grew up. I was a ball boy when Junior played, and it's special. The guy, John Harrison, the defense coordinator, was my coach. And a lot of those guys on the sideline played at Henry County. Like, when you play there, you end up coaching there. So it's special. My dad run those sidelines for 18-plus years. And it'll be difficult for me to be on the visitor side because for so long I was on the home side. But, again, I wanted to take my kids down there and let them see an environment like that and experience something like that. And I feel like as a program, we got to start playing teams like that to take the next step.
Well, Warrior fans, get the car gassed up and head to Henry County to follow the Warriors down there. Coach, congrats on Week 1 win, and everybody at Riverdale did a wonderful job. It was a great night for high school football last night.
Yeah, they did. About Thursday, I had a lot of stress. People were asking about parking because we got a lot of construction going on, and I said something to Miss Blair, and she said, "You worry about coaching. I'll worry about the traffic and everything else. I trust you to coach. You trust me to take care of everything else." And they did a great job, and everything flowed. And Chris Martin with the DJ, and I thought that was an unbelievable atmosphere, what he did. And I thought he brought a new game day experience. And I didn't hear one negative thing about last night.
Yeah, great night. Will, congrats again. Will Kreisky joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injured victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
The auction is a means of drawing people together for a quick, easy sale.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. You know, you get instant sale, no contingencies and everything. I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, do I have a home now?
Call Parks Auction at 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, 30, sold it to you.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions.
I just want to talk to a real person when I need help. Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Sir Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. They have a good time out there at Lascassas Feed Supply. Time to talk some Smyrna football this morning. Head coach Matt Williams joins us today. And, Coach, the sun came up again today this morning, right?
Yeah, it came up. And that's what I said to our staff and our kids last night. You know, we're not going to pout and cry about it. I mean, hats off to Riverdale. They got a really good football team. And, you know, we got beat by a better football team last night. There are no excuses. And we've got a lot of work to do. And, you know, I told this group last night that, you know, we're not going to have, you know, a pouty attitude, and we're going to have a competitive spirit attitude and come back and get better. And, you know, really that's the only choice, the only way to go. Last night was, you know, obviously a bad night for us and, you know, not a fun one for our fans, our students, anybody. And we've got to find a way to get better quick.
Well, you say get better quick because, I mean, the games just keep coming. So that's really the only choice, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, our schedule's not forgiving, and you know, we knew we had some areas where we, you know, had to see what was going to happen when the lights came on, and you know, I think the biggest thing we came out of is that the moment at times looked a little bit too big for some of our kids, and that's something that's just going to be remedied by playing on Friday nights. And you know, I've been around this game for a while, obviously, and I knew coming in that we were going to probably take some lumps, and anytime you're replacing 5 starting offensive linemen and a quarterback and some other positions that were vital for us, running back, there are going to be some growing pains. And, you know, last night that was evident. And, you know, Riverdale's got a good football team. They've got a lot of, you know, kids that big physical, fast kids. And at times, you know, it looked like a varsity team against a JV team at times. And that's not an indictment on our kids. It's just that we've got a lot of kids who are new faces, and we just got a lot of work to do, and we're going to do it. And I'm encouraged by I saw in our kids' eyes, I didn't see, you know, what I call it the loser's limp a lot of times, you know, when you start having attitudes and negativity start creeping. I didn't see that at all. I saw a group that got really humbled, and I think it'll be a group that's determined to come back and get better on Monday.
Well, you mentioned that you've got new faces, and even though you have some juniors and seniors, they're really seeing, you know, the more playing time than they have before, and figuring out those pieces. I know you tried several different things at quarterback just to get the offense going, and that's just kind of where you are right now. You've got to figure out what can consistently move the football on the offensive side as we take a look at that first, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I had 3 or 4 people after the game say, you know, y'all are young, and I'm like, we're not young. You know, I don't think there was a sophomore on the field last night. You know, we've got juniors and seniors playing. it's just a lot of those juniors were JV kids last year. I mean, every team has it. I'm just saying it's basically the same thing everybody's got, but we got to have some grow up. We got junior offensive linemen that are still playing like JV kids. We've got running backs that won't hit the hole and are hesitant when something does open up. We've got the quarterbacks got to get rid of the ball at times. There are times where we had open receivers and we just, double pumped the ball and got sacked. I think we gave up, 5 sacks last night. That can't happen. And some of that's on the offensive line, and as usual, a lot of they get blamed for everything. A lot of that's on, at times, the quarterbacks and at times the receivers. I saw through the preseasons we had some struggles offensively moving the football, and, the same thing on defense. I saw at times on defense that we were, porous up the middle at times, and that at times we gave up big plays in the passing game. So, it's just a lot of things we got to fix, and we got to fix the mental mistakes. And we had a lot of key penalties last night that killed us. We had a couple that come to mind. We had a screen pass that we actually popped for some positive yardage in the first down there to get things sort of going, and I had a holding call, and then we had another 4th and 12 situation where we were getting off the field and we had a face mask, and on third down, out of the face mask would have been 4th and 12, and it was first down and 10 for them. So we got to quit making mistakes to hurt ourselves and start getting better.
Matt Williams with us this morning talking Smyrna football, and one thing that it seemed to happen, especially in the second, after, trading a couple of possessions, Riverdale goes up 8-0 in the first, but they score 3 times in the second. But the issue that it seemed like your guys had was the field got flipped, and you really never could get good field position and string together a couple of first downs, and that was kind of like spinning your wheels in the mud. You just couldn't get out of the hole, it seemed.
No, we were behind the 8 ball a lot. Their kicker's really good. We knew that. I knew he was returning. They returned a lot of kids, and a lot of kids that were big contributors for him last year, and he was one of them. And he did a great job last night. It was either in the zone or I listened to you talk to Kreisky. It was either that or it was on the 1 or 2 yard line. And so we started with poor field position on every possession, and just weren't able to dig out of that hole. And they're better on defense than people think. I think a lot of people coming in thought they lost those key players, and I thought they were pretty impressive on the defense side of the ball last night too, and were better up front than I thought they might be. And again, hats off to them. We don't make excuses. We got beat, and we just got to come back. But there were positive there were some bright spots. I thought DJ Barksdale tailback. I think he had 55 yards rushing. We were able to start running the ball a bit with him, and our punter Alan Cernas is a soccer player that's never played football in his life. And I thought he punted the football really well last night. I think he averaged like 37, 38 yards a punt. So he did a good job too. And we got plenty of opportunities at that last night. Well,
this is one that you remember and you build from and work toward next week, because your schedule doesn't get any easier. You've got another Murfreesboro team with up and coming Rockvale last night, and they had a narrow loss at Nolensville. So I know you'll both be hungry.
Yeah, they'll have a good football team. We know that, and because Nolensville's a very good football team. I think Nolensville, if I'm not mistaken, was in the semifinals last year in their division. So, we know Rockvale's a good football team. They're also on the road at Nolensville. I think the good thing about our schedule, though, as tough as it is, we open up with a lot of non-region football games, and that's something not that they're not important. They're all important, and obviously, me, we want to win them all. But I knew this football team, that was a good thing for us, because it's going to allow us to get better for our region schedule, and that's something we've got to keep in mind. I told our kids last night, we're never going to try to be too high or too low, and we've got to be realistic and very self-aware as a football team, and we can't pout about things. We've got to get better, and we've got a lot of nice kids, and it's a fun football team to be around. We got a lot of nice kids, but at times, I told them last night, we got to get meaner as a football team. We don't have a lot of mean kids, and you had kids last year like a Jaden Marable and Arion Carter. Those kids were competitors, and they were going to try to do whatever it took to win, and we're going to be physical and nasty at times, and that's something we've got to get back to, and we've got to instill in these kids, and got to find ways to do that through our practice this week.
Well, I did want to give you a moment. It was nice that your team and of course Riverdale and even Blackman across the way are honoring Bobby Wells. I know Bobby's had such an impact on not only kids but young coaches, and I think at one time when you were a young coach, you probably got some good advice from Bobby.
No, I mean, Bobby was, yeah. I mean, it was emotional. I was fine last night until Will walked across the field and he was teary-eyed, and then I got teary-eyed. And, you know, when I got to Smyrna 98, you know, he was my mentor. And, you know, Bobby was one of my best friends I've ever had. And, yeah, it's immeasurable the effect he had on me. I'm just thankful that he was in my life.
Well said. Matt, appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And, hey, we'll see how things go next week. You know, we hear every year, you know, more improvement in the first couple of weeks. And I'm sure that you're going to work on that this week. And things going to be just okay right there for the Smyrna Bulldogs. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
That's Matt Williams joining us this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete and tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne-Marie Brent's at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Local business owners, you know how important it is to be here for your customers. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I run a small business in Rutherford County too, and I'm here to help you protect your small business. Call me at 615-895-2700.
Each team knows which play will be the winning move. I'm good neighbor State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about combining your home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-900-0877 to make the winning move that can save you time and money.
It's Brian. I want to tell you why I absolutely love First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. As soon as you go in or pull up to the drive-thru, there's always a "Hi, what can I do for you?" I've been seeing the same faces for many, many years, and that says something about them. At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, it's more than banking. It's about people. I guarantee you'll feel the same way. If you're not getting that from your bank, come on over with me to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee on Gateway and Memorial Boulevards. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on the Coach's Show, our 30th year of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Welcoming in Blackman coach Matt Kreisky here this morning. 30 years ago, how old would you have been?
Would I have been 11?
Okay, yeah. See, whew, makes me feel old already. But Coach, good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right. It's literally like looking in a mirror. But I understand you're the wiser and older brother.
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. So, football. Coach at Blackman High School, and you kind of made the trek back to Williamson County last night, right?
Yeah. Well, I had Brentwood at home, so I faced them. That was my 8th or 9th time to play Brentwood. I felt like I knew what they were going to do, and I told the kids all week they're going to be fundamentally sound, well coached. They're going to be in the right spot at all times, and they were. They were the hard-nosed, gritty team last night. That's what I saw out of Brentwood is what I eventually want our team to be. Play as one unit, be that type of gritty and nasty team for 4 quarters. And that's my goal as we move from week 1 to week 10 to get us to that point.
You have so many different pieces. We were just talking to Matt Williams. Different places, different roles, and you may have even some juniors or seniors in positions that just that the age is one thing, but the experience is another. Are you in a similar boat to that?
We are, and I'll be honest with you. I've heard the word young numerous times. I'm to the point. I've been here since March. There's no more excuses. We've got to get the job done. We've got to figure out, put these kids in the right places to be successful on both sides of the ball. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here all season long and make an excuse. We're inexperienced. We're young. It's week 1. We've got to see improvement next week versus Stewart's Creek. I tell the kids, I don't want to hear any excuses. So I'm not going to sit up here with you today and make a bunch of excuses that we're a young football team. We just got to find ways to get these guys to execute offensively to our game plan, what we want them to do. Defensively, we've got to get better in shape. And have guys in the right spots when they're tired to be able to fight through that mentality of being tired to continue to do the right things. Not when they're fresh and it's the first quarter, but when it's midway through the second quarter, when the game's on the line in the fourth quarter, to fight and put their body and know that we're playing together as one unit, because you'll see us on film defensively. We'll have 1 or 2 guys out of spot, and then it causes a big play. Offensively, you have one guy that missed a block that could have sprung Caden Perkins for a long run, but we didn't make that block. So we've got to find a way as coaches to get these guys on the same page and execute what we want to do offensively and defensively.
Also, Matt, it's one of those things to where there's some teaching that goes along with that, encouraging that goes along with that. But when you don't think you can take another step, when you can play another play, that's when you got to dig deep and make a play on the next one. And that just comes with some experience on the field.
It does. We got guys in backup rows that can come in and spill guys for a play or two to get them a rest when needed. But we just got to learn how to fight through adversity and do the little things. I've been for a month now. I've been preaching about doing the little things. It's the details, the minute things that win you the games in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's always the next man up mentality, and I know that you had a few guys that you expected to start that weren't able to start for you last night, and hopefully that. We'll get corrected here real soon in terms of injuries and things of that nature. But that's the beast that is high school football.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready to go.
Yep. That's the name of the game. You got it's next man up. Everyone's going to have injuries throughout the year. Again, we can't make excuses. We can't say we're young. Can't say we got guys hurt. We've got to find a way as a team to come out on the winning side on Friday nights.
Well, I will say this, you look at the score and you have a running clock and all of that kind of thing against you, and you have to see something positive about kids not giving up. You scored 14 fourth quarter points, which gives you a lot to build on, I would think.
It does. Even if you look early on in the game when they got up 7-0, I mean, we had a great drive going, and we got inside the 5. We had a penalty. And then I chose, instead of going for a field goal, I felt like we needed, if we could punch it in right there, that would give us the momentum and the spark we needed to get going. That's a decision I made. I felt good about it. We didn't get it. And then again, that's part of learning with these guys. We missed a simple block. We would have got that block. I felt like we would have gotten the end zone right there. And then defensively, throughout the game, it was, we made a mistake here or there. But overall, we didn't play bad, and the mistakes we made are fixable. I want to say one thing. Trey McGaffey had a heck of a game. I'm so proud of that young man. I can't tell you how proud I am. He fought the entire game. 2 interceptions. Almost returned a kickoff return. You see in the young man's eyes. If we can get everyone playing with his nastiness, his competitiveness, we're going to be fine this year.
I've seen Trey on the basketball floor and see that that competitive edge that you call it, and you're going to need some sparks like that, and to get one from him now who's it going to be next week, and continue to build off that and have multiple players that spark your team when you need to make that play and for a touchdown and that key block and things like that, right?
Yes, and so we know we're going to get it fixed next week. I thought Carter Gregory did a great job managing the game last night, and doing things we asked him to do this week. I believe it was in the third quarter. We missed two deep balls, but other than that, he played well. And that's we got to get some of those receivers on one of the deep balls. I felt like the receiver, if we would have laid out for it, gave that extra effort for it, he possibly gave him a chance to make a great catch.
Caden Perkins last night, we mentioned him earlier. His stats, 20 rushes, 90 yards, touchdown, added 17-yard receiving TD as well late in the ball game. And you got all of it at once because you had the home game day experience and all of that goes into it. And sometimes it's maybe even easier to go on the road to get away from all that stuff. But get the first one under your belt at the Inferno had to feel pretty good, too.
It did. Going back to Caden Perkins, it was his birthday yesterday.
Wow.
He was able to punch one in on his birthday. So he's another one, one of our offensive guys who's a leader. And, at halftime, he rounded the guys up and told them that we're going to fight for these next 2 quarters no matter what the score was. So we got the pieces. We have the pieces. We just got to put them together and get this thing going the way we all want it to go.
Well, the thing about high school football is you don't have a lot of time to cry over your spilt milk and lick your wounds and all those cliches. It's time to go to work, and you've got a Stewart's Creek in-county matchup coming up next Friday.
Yes. Like I said, I try to get to the office before I come here, start watching film. On them. They had a win last night, so they're going into next week with some confidence. So they'll be ready to play. That's a in-county rivalry. So it's going to be a good game for us. We travel over there, and so we're excited. We're ready to get back to work. Can't wait to get the staff in tomorrow and start game planning and putting it all together for next week.
So you've already watched some film. Are you watching film on the opponent? Are you kind of grading out your film from last night? Kind of where are you at in that process, and what does a weekend look like for you?
Well, weekend looks like no sleep. I learned that from Coach Creasy and Coach Donnie Webb whenever I was in high school. But, stay up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, watch film. Was up by 6 this morning, finishing out what I needed to on us last night. And I like when I leave here, I turn my entire focus on Stewart's Creek and start getting ready for them, start game planning and seeing the adjustments we need to make in offense, defense, and special teams to put our guys in position to win on Friday night.
Most coaches say, well, I can sleep at Christmas.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
So, man, I appreciate you coming in this morning. We plan to broadcast next Friday night from Stewart's Creek, your game there, and it's always fun when we can get these county matchups together, and even with 2 regions playing these games, I think are important, and this is good to see this game on the schedule.
Yep, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on this morning.
You bet. That's Matt Kreisky joining us, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze, this morning on The Coaches Show, which is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, family-owned and operated, treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, wide selection of jewelry pieces, mullinsjewelry.com.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And our show, this portion brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. You can find out more at CraigsTaxService.com. John Dinkins here now for the next few interviews, and we're glad to have Mike Woodard here, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. And, Coach, a rare Friday off, but I know you kind of appreciated it because you had a humdinger of a game on Thursday.
Well, I tell you what, the whole week was hectic. Just starting with your home opener on a Thursday makes for a short week, and then Thursday night, wow, just a tough defensive struggle, tight all the way. And thankfully, it worked out in our favor in the end.
I don't know much about West Creek. In fact, I had to ask Brian, who is West Creek? Where are they located?
So they're in Clarksville.
Okay.
They had been up until this year. They were the newest school, but I didn't even realize they've been open 10 years. I thought it was more like 5 or 6, but they've been open 10 years, so they've been around. And, very, very physical up front on both sides. And then, had a couple of skill guys who were really, really good athletes that we were worried about and really focused on all week long. And, just kind of went like we thought. And they were very physical and very good defensively also. So it just ended up being more of a, quote, old school slugfest and see who could hold out the longest.
Tell us a little bit about it. I know it was 2-0 at one point. How did you arrive with the safety?
So we had drove down offensively, and actually we felt like we're about ready to score. And then we fumbled inside the 10. And next play, Devion Brown just made a heck of a play and blitzed and got in there, and he didn't make the tackle, but he disrupted the play, and we're pursuing. Next thing you know, ball's out, and we had a chance to recover it in the end zone for a touchdown, but that sucker just kept bouncing around, and finally goes out the back. We get the safety, and then get the ball and able to come back and score again. So but getting the safety was a huge momentum changer. Like you could just feel it in the stadium when we got those 2 points, man. It just gave us an extra surge of energy.
That was fairly late in the game too, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was 0-0 going all the way into the fourth.
Have you ever been experienced a game like that where it's just a defensive, just juggernaut, and no one has scored, and the later it gets, the more desperate I think teams get?
Not to that extent, I've been in some defensive battles, but I don't remember going into the fourth quarter with it being 0-0 and thinking, my goodness, we may go into overtime and it comes down to who can get 10 yards in 4 plays, but nothing to that extent.
A lot of scoring, actually, most of the scoring there very late, but let's talk about Devion Brown. Boy, he had a tremendous game.
He really did. He's part of our running back rotation, starts at inside backer, and, had a phenomenal game. I mean, obviously on the defensive side, he was playing well and was very disruptive. And then, on the offensive side, like I said, we really like the 3-man rotation we got at running back. But E.J. Robinson cramped up a little bit, so we had to go to Devion a little bit more than maybe we were planning to. But, he hopped in and we didn't miss a beat. So he played very, very well Thursday.
And I want to talk a little bit about your defense because I don't know that I've seen such a defensive effort. Is it did you know going in that this team was going to be pretty good defensively?
Well, going back to the start of summer after seeing how spring went, installing this 3-4, we did feel pretty good about us defensively. Like we thought we could be pretty good on that side of the ball. And then we've just kind of, just really focused on fundamentals and getting each position group better. I mean, these guys, like we talked about last week, man, they're sponges. I mean, anything you tell them coach-wise, I mean, they're going to listen and they're going to do it. They give us great effort. And, really defensively, not to oversimplify it, but if you got 11 dudes who know where to line up, are disciplined enough to read their key, and then will sprint to the ball, not just run, not strive, but sprint in pursuit, then, you should be pretty solid in it. And that's what we've gotten. And then they just took it to a whole nother level on Thursday.
We're talking to Mike Woodard, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, a winner in their opener on Thursday. Tell me, looking at the game, what are some things you think that you need to work on? Because first game out, there's always something. I know that, you go, well, if we could have done this a little better or that.
Well, and to be honest, defense is usually a little bit ahead of offense early on in the year. So offensively, we put the ball on the ground 3 different times, lost 2 of them. So we got to get better at that. Defensively, really, really, as well as we played, really, really don't like that touchdown we gave up at the end of the game. To me, that was situational football. And that really had a chance to spoil, all the great defense we had played for, 3 3/4 of the game, So, I mean, we just got to be able to line up in a hurry-up situation, locate our guys, and execute better. So, I mean, which we'll get better at. A lot of those guys, I mean, we had 8 new starters on each side of the ball, so you get some pregame jitters. And it's really just getting better, defensive side, striving to be even better at, assignment responsibility. And then offensively, again, I think it's still just building that cohesion that you need offensively to be able to consistently, move the ball and put it in the end zone.
Well, and let's be honest, we lost some. You guys lost some guys, some big guys, some big names.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's that's what I was saying. We lost 8 on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But when you talk about, and especially on the offensive side, when you talk about losing, Elijah Prather, who is now down at Troy, playing O-line and having a great camp there, and looks like he's going to have a chance to actually see some time, and then Javon Drake, who was such a dual threat at quarterback. I mean, we lost, we lost some talent right there. So, that's what we're trying to replace, offensively. And again, I like what we're doing there. Like, watching the film, I just feel like we're really, really close, to having a breakout, and that'll come as the guys just keep working. Like I said, building that cohesion.
Just really tremendous to get a win, in that first game. And that's one thing over the hump. Get the first one and get it out of the way, and now you can build on that a little bit. Let's talk about you've got the Siegel Stars. You're going to be traveling there, and that's a game where they've got a pretty good offense.
Yeah, they've got a very, very good offense. Weapons all over the place, and it's a completely different style from what we just saw from West Creek. So, it'll be a big challenge for us to be able to just wipe last week completely from our mind and just say, the things we were doing last week don't apply, because the offensive systems are just so different between the two. But our guys will come in Monday and we'll have a plan ready for them and just start executing and try to come up with a way to keep it simple for our guys, but also try to put a little confusion, in Siegel's minds, because like I said, I mean, it starts with their QB, who's a great dual threat quarterback, and then they've got skill all over the place out there. So it'll be a challenge.
I really feel like you're excited about this group, Coach. I mean, it just seems like through thick or thin, whatever, you really like these guys.
Well, I mean, there's just a different feel, and when you're coaching, sometimes you just have a feel, and it's not, with football, it's not always about how talented you are.
Right.
It's about what's the locker room like, what's the chemistry like. And this group has always been, just a little bit different. And, even looking at Thursday, the fact that we did fumble inside the 10 And just to be honest, if this had happened in other years, we probably would have lost the game at that point.
Right.
Because we would have had players getting frustrated. We would have had players, we wouldn't have come together and said, that's all right. We're going to go ahead and get a stop right now. Our minds would have been going other places. But this group handled that adversity. The defense went out. There was no finger pointing. There was no, complaining or yelling or arguing. It was just, let's go out and win this next snap. And so, when you see guys react like that to that type of situation, it does get you excited because, you've got a special group of guys.
Well, Coach, good luck next week, and congratulations on your first win here this year, and continued success. You do a great job out there, Laverne, and we appreciate you being on the show today, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you, John. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Mike Woodard, the head coach of the Marines. This portion of the show brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. You can check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. When we come back, we're going to be talking Oakland football with Coach Kevin Creasy here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure that your goals are top of mind. While you can't control market volatility, we'll help focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I. Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 old world pepperoni. Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good. Order a new classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, 12 and a home now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan Franz Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
You by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Joining me here now is Coach Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And, you know, it's always good, Coach, to get the first game out of the way. And how do you feel after the first game?
Yeah, you know, got to play 4 quarters with their starters. You know, these scrimmages, you know, you only get a couple quarters, and you know, you're playing a lot of new guys, but it was good to get out there and kind of get some cohesion and get the flow of the offense and the defense, special teams, you know, a real life game instead of just a situational scrimmage. And I thought it was good. And, you know, lots of new starters on both sides of the ball. And I definitely got some kinks to work out, but it was good to get it all on film.
It's good to be able to see that but also win the game. It makes it better, doesn't it?
It does. The win is big, and you know, half the teams in the state right now are 0-1, and we're glad we're not one of them.
Coach, when you look at Oakland, I think a lot of people don't understand you do have a lot of new starters. I mean, this is a kind of a revamping here. You've got a new quarterback, a couple of guys in the backfield that haven't played as much as maybe in the past, but they didn't disappoint.
That's right. You know, we've got about 6 new starters on offense. Like I said, a new quarterback. Kyler did pretty good last night. You know, he's my firstborn, so I don't brag on him all the time, but I thought he did pretty good last night. And then at the same time, you know, we've got 9 new starters on defense.
Yeah.
So 15 new starters out of 22. That's a lot. And so there was a lot of inexperience on the field, but, you know, the only way you can get experience is just kind of throw those guys out there. So, like I said, started out with a huge lead, and then we made some mistakes, and that thing got closer.
And Independence, you know, they've got a history of being really, really good, and I don't know whether you knew what to expect going into that game, and but you know, it's Independence, so you had to be ready.
Yep. You know, I think their coaching staff does a great job over there doing the triple option. You know, that's a responsibility. Football where everybody's got a job to do, and you know, they'll take advantage of it when you don't. I think they're solid, you know, on both sides of the ball, and then special teams as well. So I think their coaches do a really good job, and they'll have a good successful season.
And let's talk about some of these guys that got some numbers here. So you like stats, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm a stats guy.
Dwayne Morris, okay. Tell me about him. 5 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, he's new to the program.
Yeah, you know, DeJuan came on the scene, I think, right around dead period, and then he had 2 60-plus yard touchdowns last night. You know, there were some huge holes, but he's also got, you know, tremendous speed. So he's a big-time player, and, you know, had some receptions for us last night. So he can catch, he can run, he can block, he can do it all.
Boy, and it's good to have somebody that's explosive like that, isn't it? Can break one for a touchdown.
Yeah, you know, he's coming off of an injury, so he played literally 1 snap in the scrimmages, but that 1 snap was like another 60-yard touchdown. So we saw all we needed to see in scrimmages, so we're trying to kind of save him.
You feel pretty good about going in with him.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Tell me a little bit, Ashton Jones now had 18 carries for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Him and Morris both had 2 touchdowns apiece, and you know, when the score got within, I think, 12 points or something like that, we just kept feeding Ashton, and, he's running between the tackles and, 5-6 yards in at a time, and, just a tough runner. And so it was good to see that, whenever things got tight. It's easy whenever it's first quarter and, 0-0 and you do whatever you want. But I think, when it was crunch time, we had to see who we can lean on. And first thing we're going to lean on is our offensive line. And I thought they did a great job opening up some holes. And then, Ashton finished with a couple touchdowns real late in the ball game.
Yeah, and the plethora of running backs that Oakland has had, especially in your tenure, I know I guess you can call it you're blessed or whatever, but I think a lot of that's from the Oakland Middle program too, and the kind of the thing that y'all have got going out there. But you always manage. Somebody always seems to maybe pick up the slack. May not be the same type runner, but you got explosiveness, and you got that guy that turns out those tough yards. Right.
And Kalonji King had a good night for us. He's another kid that came up from Oakland Middle, and Avery Hainsworth is still injured, hoping to get him back. But, you put Avery back there with those other guys, and, you really got some weapons. But, yeah, it's a good deal, where our guys are able to, be a complete back. They're able to run. They're able to catch. They're able to block. And so, that's a reason why sometimes I think people are looking to come on over to Oakland because of, what we always have kind of produced with our running backs.
And one thing, too, I know you play a lot of players. I mean, you try to play as many, and that's a plus for a kid that's wanting to play football. I mean, to feel like part of the team and getting some snaps every once in a while.
Yeah, we've got, I think, maybe a couple guys that go both ways, but, usually there's 20 to 22 new faces, out there, and a lot of guys are only going one way, and so they can focus on one position and stay fresh and stuff like that. So, hopefully we've still got depth like that, in the playoffs. The closer you get to the playoffs, sometimes guys have to go both ways, and luckily then it's not 95 degrees outside. So as of right now, we try to play as many guys, on one side of the ball as possible.
Well, the Creasy guy, the quarterback, he had a pretty good night too, and did just enough. I think his job is to kind of direct the attack, but boy, he 6 for 11, 100 yards and a touchdown. I know you're pleased with that, and I know you're not going to say much, but tell us a little bit about him. I know. There is pressure, I mean, he's the guy, and it's his first year too, actually, under the center.
That's right. Been playing quarterback his whole life, but it's just one of those things you got to go out there and just enjoy yourself, have some fun, and missed a couple throws. We're going to definitely talk about those, and then had a huge touchdown pass early in the game when I think it was 7-0, something like that. So it was big momentum shift for us to hit a home run ball. And I thought, again, O-line protected him. He threw a really good pass, and then Kalonji did the rest, scoring the touchdown. So there's just there's a lot that goes into quarterbacking. A lot of times you get the praise, and, a lot of times you get the blame. It's kind of like coaching, but, he can handle it. And that's what I'm saying. He's ready for this. He's used to, playing quarterback and all that goes with it.
And one other question, I'll let this go, but do you all think alike? I mean, or do you kind of know what he's thinking? And that's got to help a little bit, I would think.
Yeah. He knows the offense inside and out, and, he knows what everybody does on every single play. So he can definitely help some of these new guys, these inexperienced guys, those guys that kind of new to the scene, especially whenever they get a little tired and they can't think for themselves. He's out there kind of directing traffic for us.
We're talking to Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. Where are you going next week, Coach? Center Grove. Tell us about Center Grove.
Yeah, Center Grove, real affluent community right outside of Indianapolis, and so we're getting on about a 6-hour bus ride, and going to probably stay the night. The night before. So it's going to be a cool experience because their stadium is enormous. Their fan support is huge. They're back-to-back state champs in 6A in Indianapolis. You know, they've taken out all the big boys in Indiana. You know, any of the top teams in Indiana, they've played them, and they've beat them, and they've beat them consistently over the last 3 years and beat a lot of them so much that they refuse to play them. And so that's kind of how this game came about is, you know, they heard we were having some trouble finding a week 2 game. And so it's just a 1-year deal, so they're not coming back to us. But they were definitely short some games. And somebody put out there that they got one of the toughest national schedules. They're playing one of the best teams in Ohio tonight. You know, St. Edwards out of Ohio is one of the top teams in the nation. And then, you know, they've got several out-of-state opponents, and we're one of them, you know, but it's just because they've had their way with a lot of people in, you know, that Indianapolis area. And so they're having a hard time finding a schedule too. And I think their coach has been there 26-plus years and does a heck of a job. And, you know, they're nationally known. They're nationally ranked, and we're definitely going to have our hands full. They are a very good football team. And like I said, their record speaks for itself. And it's pretty cool that, you know, we're 3-time state champs in a row, and they're 3-time state champs in a row. And we get to square off against each other. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be good for both teams because we get to see, you know, not just a quality opponent. We get to compare notes after the fact. We're never going to play each other again, and we get to learn from each other. And it's a whole lot better than, you know, just going out here and playing somebody that's going to lay down after a quarter or two.
You don't back away from any kind of challenge like that. That's one thing I know about you over the years. You know, it's good for your kids to play tough competition. Yep,
and we enjoy it. And like I said, it takes a lot, you know, to go on the road with a bunch of teenagers and spend the night and, you know, expect them to act grown up and do a lot of preparation on the road and on their own. So, you know, if we have a good night this week, you know, who knows where we'll go next year.
And you know, a lot of these kids don't experience that kind of thing. I mean, you take away the football part out of it, they're getting on the road, they're doing things, responsibility, seeing places they may not see again, you know.
That's true. You know, went to Mississippi. That was one of the coolest things a couple years ago, going down to Jackson, Mississippi, and, you know, doing a walkthrough at a college. And, you know, some of those guys had never been on a college campus before, even though, you know, MTSU is just a few miles down the road. These guys, we're going to try to do the same thing, get on the road, do a walkthrough somewhere at a college nearby. And, you know, like I said, let these guys kind of experience what Indianapolis is all about.
Well, Coach, good luck next week. A big win yesterday, and I have not had the opportunity to tell you, but congratulations on the continued success and three-peat and shooting for number 4, I guess. So, but we won't talk about that until later.
No.
Yeah,
we're shooting for 2-0 right now.
There you go. Coach Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. When we come back, it's Stewart's Creek football here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This portion brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Sir Pizza.
You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely
The
on the
Prentice
experienced
also Heating and Air
professionals.
Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor. That's hard to say. Serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete construction contractor. I think Brian did that to me, to get even with me. We've got in the studio here Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Red Hawks. And I was just telling you, we've run into each other quite a bit at different sporting events, but it's good to see you. You're looking good. Looks like you've lost a little weight too. Well, you've been on some kind of program here, Coach, or?
Oh, it's just in season. Definitely getting my steps in with practice and everything.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Big win last night to start the season over Tullahoma. Tell us a little bit about their program, because I know they're a little different because they're like a city school, city high school in the county.
Yeah, so Coach Sisk is in year 2, longtime defensive coordinator for Coach Olive, who's their AD now. And I could just tell, talking to Coach Sisk in the offseason, that he really felt good about this team coming back. Returns their quarterback, obviously his second year as a head coach. They had 5 seniors on their offensive line, and very impressive team. And I had a unique feeling all week about just opening on the road. Our buses were a little bit late. Obviously, it's a little longer trip, but a tremendous environment. Their stands and press box. We actually, our last 2 games in playoffs against Coffee and last night, 2 beautiful scoreboards. I mean, up here seems like we're putting all our money into our fields, and they're, firing it into those beautiful jumbotrons, and the grass was immaculate down there. Just an awesome environment, tough environment for our team on the road. I think Tullahoma is going to have a great season, and proud of our guys for being able to pull it out on the road.
They get behind you too. I know we've done some baseball games down there. They really come out for their games.
No doubt.
You, quarterback, a little different change, but you looked like the game plan was run, and you did do that. It took a little bit to break off, but it seemed like Otay was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we actually hit some big passes last night, and just talking to my wife this morning, who's the athlete in our family, she brought up the composure and just the leadership of our quarterback, and that's noticed amongst everybody, not only on our team and locker room, but in our school. Jacob Jones, in his first start, I thought really, did a great job leading our offense.
Over 100 yards passing, that's pretty impressive for your first start.
Yeah, and just his character is something I really am proud of. I've got 2 boys of my own. I mean, if they were playing on our team, I'd want them to be really close friends with Jacob. So really proud of his first start last night and how he did.
Is it his football IQ? I mean, a lot of times it's that, but it's also sometimes with quarterbacks, it's just a special quality that they have, the way they handle themselves. Is that Jacob?
Oh yeah, he's cerebral. He's a smart kid. He's a leader. He has very high character, and he commands the respect of his teammates and has guts. And when you play quarterback, I mean, me playing quarterback for Marty Uverard, if you didn't have guts, you couldn't command that huddle.
Right.
You weren't going to play.
Right.
And, that position is one that has to be the one that galvanizes your team, not just your offense, but your whole team. And really proud of Jacob. And we left a few things out there last night, but overall, man, first start on the road as a junior, really proud of him.
First game, I always ask the coaches, what did you see good and what did you see bad, or not necessarily bad, but for improvement. What are the good things you saw last night, and some things you think that you can improve on?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, the sun doesn't, rise or set based off of the results of Stewart's Creek football, but, waking up and you're 1-0, on the road against a tough team in a really tough environment. Their place was packed, and they got big bleachers, bigger than anybody's up here. The bands are firing. I was proud of our team in all three phases of just, not making it pretty, but executing a little bit better in all three phases than Tullahoma. And, we were better this week than we were last week. And so to me, that was the good. Obviously there's a lot to improve in any game. We had a great drive that stalled about on their 8-yard line, missed some opportunities, offensively that I know we'll clean up. But all in all, going on the road, we hadn't been 1-0 since 2019, in a tough environment, hostile environment, long bus ride, all those things. I think the maturity of our team is something that showed up, and I'm proud of them.
We're talking to Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. And Ben, when the defense looked like they played pretty well, I just by going by the score, but you kind of had to be proud of them because you didn't immediately just get on the scoreboard. It was scoreless for a while.
It was. Last week, Tullahoma really took it to Summit. That's a well-coached team, established staff, and they had some dynamic weapons on offense that, kind of kept me up at night this past week. But we gave up a touchdown that first series and kind of settled into the game, and got some stops as the game went on, and had so many new faces on that side of the ball, with 8 new starters on defense. I was really proud of, how they battled and adjusted throughout the night, and were able to shut down a really good offense on the road in Tullahoma.
I think when you think about these kind of things, going on the road for an opener and winning the game, it kind of makes perspective. Like, it's just every week is different, 1 week at a time, and that's I know that's a cliche, but gosh, it's true.
Oh, there's no question. Going on the road anywhere, it's never easy on the road, whether it's a 5-minute bus ride or over an hour. And all the logistics that go into that, playing, a team and community that none of our kids are familiar with. Up here, just about everybody knows somebody or played youth league baseball or whatever with a kid on another team up here in Rutherford County. But, each week is different, schematically, all those things, the challenges and pace of things and what you see up here is not going to be the same as you see, last week or next week. So proud of what our guys did and staff did this past week and getting us ready.
Next week, you're at home and you host the Blackman Blaze, which automatically kind of seems like a rivalry for some reason. But they've got some new looks, they've got some new players, and they've lost a lot of people from last year. But it's Blackman, so. What's your preparation take on that, and what do you expect from them?
I expect for Blackman to be one of the most talented, if not the most talented team we'll see all year. They've lost some players from last year, and we lost some players from last year too. And I've heard that conversation a little bit already. The last since we got on the bus last night, and I can assure you, I've been around this county for a long time now, and I've seen Blackman the last 10, 11 years, and they got some guys that can go. I can assure you of that. They got a quarterback I know they're confident about, coach's son over there. I ran into him at a game in Knoxville with my son and talked to him, and you can just tell he's the leader of that team, and certainly we're going to have a plan in place in all three phases, to execute against a really well-coached team. Matt's doing a really good job of getting, his culture established there, hired some good coaches, and I know we're going to have to be really, really prepared in order to have success next Friday night.
I think defensively they're going to throw some things at you too. He's kind of known for that, and really disciplined team. I want to mention two guys before we go. Let's talk about Caleb Floyd. 11 rushes for 73 yards. Big pick-me-up there.
Yeah, Caleb, most people don't realize this. He tore his ACL in January.
Wow.
So here we are 7 months later, and he was cleared about a month ago, and his mental toughness is just truly something that inspires all of us in our program and school. Really,
that has to be a record almost, I would think. 7 months, wow.
He's genetically, just mentally, everything about him is just so impressive. And I thought we were about to break a few last night with him, but man, with him and Ote complementing each other, it's something to get excited about.
Yeah, and we really haven't talked about him too much, but Ote doing Ote things,
Yeah, we were close on a few more last night, but credit to our offensive line, credit to the scheme we had in place. There's a lot of things that we can improve on, but the bottom line is, our team went on the road, persevered, and got the job done, and now we've got to be a little bit better next week than we were this past week.
Well, Ben, I wish we had more time, but we don't. But I do want to say, how's your youngin', by the way?
He's good. So
I thought he might be here today. But.
Well, you talk about the struggle on the road. Actually, my wife called me right as we were getting on the bus, and they couldn't get their car started. So ironically, my wife and youngest son had to jump on one of the buses, and then my oldest son got on the bus with me and fell asleep in my lap on the ride home.
Okay, so he's wore out. He's done.
So, there you go. Your first road trip, there's always going to be something unexpected.
Exactly. That's for sure. Ben, appreciate it, and good luck next week.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all let us know what you need. I know Todd Harris.
I heard we're going to be fed big time.
Hey, y'all going to be pampered, and we'll take care of you. And excited to host a very quality opponent, and looking forward to having you guys at our place next week.
Going to be a good crowd. That's
yes,
for
sir.
Sure.
We hope so.
That's Coach Ben Caudell, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks. We're going to continue our quest for coaching. I guess conversation. That's what it is. As we're going to have Brian Guthrie here from the Rockville Rockets as we continue on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, sponsored by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity, and that's online at mte.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're catching up with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, another one of our great local businesses.
Yeah, it's a big family business. Knowing that my grandparents started it, to see it evolve and what it is now, it's just been really cool, and I love it. It's just something I'm very passionate about, and customers have been great to us as well.
Whether it's a quick meal, feeding the whole family, or catering, Rick's Barbecue can handle it all.
It's really something I'm really passionate about, very blessed and thankful for.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck goose. You do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
Your home, your auto, together they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Jeannie Allman. It's smart to protect them together. Give me a call at 615-896-2013 and let me help you save by combining your home and auto.
Hey y'all, this is Lakin Hibden. I'm a mortgage loan originator for F&B Mortgage, a department of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, located on 322 North Front Street in downtown Murfreesboro. When you're ready to purchase your new home or refinance the one you have, I'll make sure your home loan process will move along smoothly when you put your trust in me. With attractive rates and a great solution that will fit your lifestyle and budget, F&B Mortgage is your hometown lender. Visit my website, lakeandhibden.com. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who would love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. Carpet, towel, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned and online at carpetsbyosborne.com. Brian Guthrie joins me here on the portion of the show, the Rockville Rockets. And, wow, if I could have been at two places last night, one of them, the place I would love to have been was Nolensville, Rockville. What a game. But number one, I'm going to ask you this first. Did everybody come out of that game healthy for the most part?
For the most part, yes. We got a knee issue that about one of our receivers, Malik Hicks. I think he's going to be okay, but we're being real cautious with him and a shoulder with one of our backs, but I think it's fine too. So it's a whole lot better than coming out of that game last year.
A very close game, and you kind of held the lead for most of the game, and I know it's disappointing, but tell us a little bit about. I know what I asked about people being healthy or not, because that was the game last year where right. It really, to me, honestly, I thought it decided your season for you.
Last year was my first year coaching, and we were 4-1 going to that game. I thought, man, this head coaching gig is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Then that happens, and and then reality hits you. And
well, we have, we do our little picks things, and I had you all winning that game. I just felt good about Rockville in this game, and for all intents and purposes, for most part, you were in control of the game.
We were. Paul and those guys, they do a great job, and they've got good football players, but man, we just left too much out there. We probably left 3 or 4 touchdowns out there. We dropped one in the end zone. We had one called back. We actually had 2 called back. So we didn't execute well enough to overcome some of the adversity that we had. And they did.
And in fact, you were driving there. You had a chance at the very end of the game, correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, and we got down there. I don't know what the ball was on the 15, 20 something, and it was 4th and 13, and we've got a new kicker, Juan Ardaneta. And Juan is a guy that we recruited off the soccer team last year, and he's never done it before. So, bless his heart, it's his first football game. He got put in a position to win or lose the game, But he's going to be good, and he missed it, but he's going to be good, and I told him, I said, you're going to hit the next one, buddy. Don't worry about it. And he's a great kid, and we're going to have faith in him, and it just didn't work out for us.
When you talk about games like that, there's good things you see and bad things. I've asked every coach this, I guess, today. What are the positives out of the first game of the year? Because there's always – the first game is kind of different because you don't really know what to expect, and I don't know that they even know what to expect. So some of the positives, again, some of the negatives out of that game.
Well, first of all, I thought we looked really good on defense. Mm-hmm. We flew around. We had lots of hats to the ball every play. They put together maybe one drive the entire game, one long drive, and that was after we had gotten a strip sack for a touchdown. And so the defense had to go right back on the field, and then they put a long drive together and scored. But, that was about the only drive I think that they had. So our defense played really well. Real proud of those guys. You know, Cam Frierson and
12 tackles.
Evangelist Brooks, and those guys are doing a great job of leading our defense. And I was real proud of Jacarius Green last night, our nose guard. Man, he played so well. He's grown up so much, and I'm just super proud of that guy. And then we've got a sophomore. One of our defensive tackles is a sophomore, and he's strong as an ox. But God, man, he's going to be so good. I mean, he's young, but he's going to be so good. Melvin Boone. So yeah, and Cam had 12 tackles, and he almost had 2 defensive touchdowns. He had one, should have had a second one.
You don't see that often. The chance to have 2. You maybe 1, but 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
So defensively, I thought we played really well. Coach Delk had a really good game plan, and they made some really good adjustments during the game. And then offensively, you know, I thought Brennan played really well. He had a few miscues, but for the most part, I thought he played really well, made really good decisions, had 0 sacks. So he, you know, and so I felt like we protected up front pretty well. There was only a couple times where he had to escape the pocket. Brashawn Odell is probably the smallest dude on our team, but he is the strongest pound for pound. And he plays one of our running backs, and man, he is just a good football player.
Had a TD last night.
Yep. He's really good. We feel like we got 3 really good backs.
Tell me about Jalen Morgan too. I know you're high on him too as well.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry,
Jalen Morgan.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of him. No.
I've got it down here. So
yeah, Jalen's our.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I
got you.
Jalen had a really good game too. He had 2 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown.
Everybody's really high on him, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, he's getting all kinds of offers, and you know, all big Power 5 offers, and you know, he's got 12 stars or however that star thing works. But
even when he's not catching the ball, he's a problem for the defense, isn't he?
He is. So he plays defense mostly, but he's one of our 3 backs that we kind of rotate. And a lot of time when he's in at tailback, he's in a slot. So, you know, we can just move him around all over the place, and he's very, very explosive with the ball in his hand.
Is he one of those guys when he walks out on the field, you kind of go, hey, that's the guy?
That dude can play.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing how you can
he's
see
great,
that.
and he's a great kid. He's a leader on our football team, and just real proud of him.
Okay. We're talking to Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. Let's talk about next week, traveling to Smyrna.
Yes, sir.
Smyrna, I guess Matt would tell you they didn't play very well last night, but what do they bring? It's a Matt Williams team, and it's always defense and solid, and you know what you're going to get. There's going to be a lot of running. It's going to be smash mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at him on film, but I mean, you know, Matt's who he is, and you know, he's does a great job with their defense, and you know, I expect him to be very sound and very physical. Mark now is running the offense, and so don't really know what to expect from that yet. You know, I know they got the Thomas kid at quarterback, so you know he's a dual threat guy. So you know that causes problems. So I expect him to be well coached. I expect him to be physical. You know, so but we'll go to work. We got to work on us. Like I said, you know, we just didn't execute at times when we needed to execute last night, and it hurt us. And
so coming back from that, you would say you left too many points out there.
Yeah, we did, and you know, it's on us, and we know that. But
that's fixable, right?
I gave him. Oh yeah,
yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, our kids played hard. They played their guts out. You know, I'm super proud of our kids. I love our kids. I absolutely love this group.
You're road warriors right now. You're playing.
We are
playing the road.
4 out of 5 of the first 5 are on the road. Yeah.
That's I don't know. Sometimes that can help a team too. You know, to kind of get. But it's nice to be home.
Well, if we can sneak some of these road wins, you know, then we're coasting at home, and not coasting, but you know, we're at home for the rest of the time, and that helps. So.
Well, definitely, you have home field advantage that a lot of teams. That crowd is right. I mean, they go crazy, at Rockville, and it's some special to see, and I've been able to see that a few times, and it's unbelievable, like no other place. I don't think. I really do.
Now I'm gonna tell you, our guys our kids do a great job. I'm gonna tell you that bunch over at Nolensville now, they rock it. Their kids, their fans were in the stands. Their student section had a whole section from top to bottom filled up at 6 o'clock.
Wow!
And they cheered the band when the band walked in to warm up. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, they do a really good job over there with their student section.
And this week you're going to Smyrna. They're big about having a lot of stuff going on at home there as well. But if I may, we talk about the Smyrna Bulldogs, and then when are you home? Because you've got
Tullahoma week 3.
Okay, week 3. So you will get a chance. All right, Brian. Good to talk to you, man.
John, it was good to talk to you.
And I'd like to be talking about a win, but you know what? It's just game 1. We got a long way to go, dog.
It's a long season.
You were 4-1 last year,
That's
so
right.
you know. All right, that's Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. When we continue, I believe Danny Brewer is going to take over, and he's going to be talking some Siegel football here. This portion of the show brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue ribs and many local favorites on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne Marie Brents and the Lanning family. We'll be right back.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I am pleased to be joined by Adam Renshaw, head coach of the Siegel Stars. Coach, how are we this morning?
Oh, I'm great, Danny. It's great to be here.
Is brought to you by. So let's talk about. This is kind of how I opened it with one of the other coaches. Siegel Stars 1-0. Man, that's got a great ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. 1-0 is better than 0-1 every time.
I'm Danny Brewer. I am
every
pleased
time.
to be joined by when you think about head coach. Yeah, I know it's a 10-game season, or you hope it's more than 10 games, but it's at least a 10-game season. But the importance of that first game and getting off to a good start.
Siegel
Stars 1-0.
We played on a short
Man,
week.
That's got a great ring to it, doesn't it?
Thursday night game starting off, so you're really nervous about all the things
when you think about
you didn't think about.
Yeah, I know it's a
several kids, a new position,
or you hope it's more than 10 games, but
new
it's at least a 10-game
coaches, and so
season.
there's a lot of organization that goes
that
on
first game and getting off to a good start.
we found some things we really needed to work on. We played on a short week, but then again, we found Thursday night game starting off, getting a win and being able to find those problems, find those issues you need to work on that you didn't think about. That's what you want.
When you think about the Thursday night games, is it as much of a factor being the first week as it would be, say, if it were week 4 or 5, you think, or does it really, or is it always going to be a factor because it's a short week?
I'm not sure. When we signed that game, we showed Great idea. We'll have more interest. You know, we had the radio out, had you guys out, and it was a tremendous atmosphere. But last week, leading up to the game, I said, God, I wish we had one more game. One more day would be really nice right now. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. There's some good things and some bad things, but in the end, we played on a Thursday night and got a win.
So when we think about the final score, 55 points, Coach, I mean, that's pretty impressive offensively. Let's talk a little bit about the Seagull Stars offense. I know you had a couple stars we'll highlight here in a minute, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I thought we could be good offensively. I didn't expect us to have 55 in us on the first ball game, but I mean, just a tremendous group of kids. Thomas Santel at quarterback, and he's got some awesome weapons around him. But I really think the key is our offensive line under Coach Kyle Turnbow has really gelled and come together.
Well, obviously, if you're scoring that kind of points, you've got to do some things right up front, because if he doesn't have time, he can't do the things that he does. I mean, when we think about Santel, I think 320 yards passing and 213 yards rushing. He doesn't do that without the guys up front. Am I right?
That's exactly right. And Thomas is a really humble kid, and he really appreciates those guys. He's done a great job in practice leading them. But, I feel like up front we're probably not as big, but we're more athletic than we have been. And those guys can move a little better and do some things. And, I'm really proud of how that group played Friday night.
So let's talk about Santel and that over 500 total yards, 14 out of 17 passing. The accuracy, man, you got to be happy about that.
Oh, extremely happy. The thing about Thomas was he made a real improvement in his pocket presence this offseason. Went back and watched the film. Several just step up in the pocket and make a great throw. And you couple that with what he can do with his feet, he's pretty dangerous.
Well, because I know last year, seeing the kid, he battled some injuries, but he was pretty dang good last year. But what about his progression as a quarterback? That's what I'm hearing from you. His progression as a quarterback from last year to this year has really he's gotten a lot better back there.
Oh, 100%. Like you said, when you complete 14 out of 17 passes in a high school football game, that's pretty dang accurate. And that, in our scheme is somewhat elaborate. He's got to move his feet, and he's got to do some real quarterbacking kind of things that accelerated quarterbacks do and accelerated schemes. And, man, he did them Thursday night.
Having a kid like that back there obviously makes your offensive game planning a little bit easier, because you do have that versatility and you do have the experience.
Yeah, well, I think an important part of that is he has other weapons too. We had 4 receivers out there that we could get the ball to at any time. Teron Grant out there is a really dangerous wide receiver, athletic specimen, and and he's worked really hard on his game this offseason also. Caleb Watson playing our Y position. He's a threat in the middle of the field. We got a young kid, Drew Hostetler, who's really kind of exploded on the scene Friday night, had a great game. We did have an injury Friday night with Kevin Inslee. We hope to have him back soon, but we have 4 receivers, 4 guys that, if they shift their coverage one way or the other, we got a guy that can catch it away from that,
Well, I think that, touching on some of those, Watson and Hostetler both had over 100 yards receiving, and Grant averaged like 39 yards a catch. So, yeah. I mean, that's like, I think that's, you got some weapons out there.
Yes, and I tell you, that makes Thomas's job easier, and I believe quarterback may be the hardest position in all of sports. But it's a lot better when you got guys up front that are athletic, and then you got 4 guys you can go to. And, Christian Fletcher, our running back, had a pretty good little night too, hitting it up in there and taking some pressure off the passing game when we needed to.
And then Santel with the 213 yards rushing, and I guess 2 touchdowns rushing as well. So being a dual threat, you can't just drop back in coverage, and you can't pin your ears back and come after him, because he can burn you.
Yeah, and like I said, he's Thomas has played a lot of football in a really tough league, and I think the experience and the leadership that comes from that can't be overlooked in his performance Thursday night either.
Coach, so offensive fireworks were there. Let's talk a little bit about defense. I know maybe you gave up 43 points. Talk a little bit about the defensive side of the football for the Stars.
Well, I tell you, probably some accolades need to go to Shelbyville's offense. They've got a good group. Quarterback's really good. Running back's really good. And, we were probably at a little bit of we weren't quite sure what we were going to see out of them on Thursday night. I thought our defense did a great job making some adjustments. We definitely slowed them down. The pace of the football game was one where, there was going to be a lot of scoring. And so, I think the key is in a game like that is you don't have to be a defense that shuts them out, but you got to be the best defense on the field that night. And so it don't matter if you win by 1 or you win by 40. The defense's job is to keep them from scoring more than the offense. And that's today's football.
I think you're absolutely right, and that's the object, is to score more than they do, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about this coming week. We got Laverne coming to town, is that right? Coming to Siegel?
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be on a new turf football field. Tell us a little bit about what's going on over there, Coach, at the Siegel.
Yeah. Well, the Siegel community's come together, and, and it's not just football, by the way. All of our sports programs that use the field have worked hard, and they're contributing to this program. Boys and girls soccer, the band has helped us on this deal. I mean, it is really exciting to see how the Siegel communities come around and rallied to put this field together. And the middle school's even kicking in. And so, it's just, I don't know. I've been blown away by the support of everybody trying to get this project done.
What do you think that having this turf field will mean to not only your football program but all of the Siegel community? What does it mean to them?
Well, initially it was about, hey, we use this field a lot. Our field's not in great condition. We need to improve the playing facilities for our kids so we're not missing games. We got a safe surface, all those kind of things. But after working on this project for the last several months, I think it's turned into a source of pride for our community. If you look at the field, it's going to be beautiful. And so I think it's going to be, we're going to have tremendous athletic facilities. And I don't know. I personally am going to take a lot of pride in seeing our football team out there, but not just our football players. Our entire community rallying around our kids in that athletic facility. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I know that Warner's Athletic Construction is one who's doing the project, and I know that they did Oakland's, they did Smyrna's, and both of those facilities turned out fantastic. So I've got no doubt that it's going to look great. But that does bring a little source of pride, especially when schools from outside the county come in. You think that where you can kind of show off that, hey, this is who we are?
Yeah, well, Lou and those guys are going to do a first-rate job, and they did an amazing job. And if I would recommend them if you ever try to put in an athletic surface of any kind. But I think what it says more than anything is, we've had businesses and community members come alongside us to do this, and so. It's just a tremendous investment in our kids. And we know kids who are involved in athletics are less likely to get in trouble. Their grades are better. There's all kind of studies to show how important an athletic field can be to improving your community because those kids are involved. And so, yeah, I think this is just a tremendous come together by our community. And really, when you come out there on our field and you see the people that sponsored us, I can't thank those guys enough. We definitely want to tip our hat to the people that's made this happen.
It talks a little bit about commitment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you start talking about this, we're talking about a 10-year commitment to a football athletic service. And so I would say this is taking a tremendous commitment out of everybody. And, also our booster club, the football booster club, our president, Kelly Santel, and our board members have really fought hard to make this happen. And it's taken a tremendous commitment out of them also.
Laverne's coming to town. Talk a little bit about what you want to see from week 1 to week 2 out of your bunch.
Oh, tremendous. We got so much to work on. And that's somewhat typical this time of year. I think we got to make some improvements in the kicking game. Obviously, we want to play better defense, and we had two turnovers on offense. So there's lots of things for the Siegel Stars to work on. But the good news is I don't think we've reached our potential yet. So I'm excited to go back to work, go back to practice on Monday.
Coach Adam Renshaw with the Siegel Stars. Anything else you want to add about Siegel football right now?
Hey, come out and see us this Friday night. I think you're going to see an exciting team. Maybe an exciting game in an exciting facility.
I think you're all right about everything, Coach. Appreciate your time. Adam Renshaw, mastermind down there at Siegel. We appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, leather jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com. Appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard here in Murfreesboro. I'm Danny Brewer. I am very pleased now to be joined by Eagleville head coach Floyd Walker. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Danny, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what you're on, but you're jazzed this morning, bro.
Well, it got me a little workout in because, see, there's this guy that I look up to. He's been a football coach around here for a long time, and he's in great shape, and he always was a tremendous athlete. He used to dance on the sidelines at MTSU and all that kind of stuff when he was signaling plays. But anyway, I'm trying to get to his level, so I got me a little workout in this morning.
You must be talking about Will Kreisky or Kevin Creasy, one of them two.
Okay, Coach, 1-0 Eagleville Eagles. Man, that's got a great ring to it, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, we're super proud of our kids. We thought our kids really battled well and really hung in all night long just as a team. And I can't say enough about the way our defenses flew around and tried to contact the ball last night.
So PCA was the opponent last night. That was their first game in 11-man football. So was it – I mean, I'm not trying to stir up no stink or nothing, but was it good to kind of welcome them to the party by winning that game? Say, hey, look, it's not easy to play 11-man football in this county?
We never even thought about that. We never even looked at it that way. It was just one of those deals that we knew that it wasn't like they hadn't played football before. So we just looked at it as another opponent. And Coach Ferguson has got them trending in the right way. They've got some really, really talented kids. But I thought our kids went about it just as it's opening ball game. It's not a school that just started 11-man. It was just one of those deals. It's a local school. I think they took more pride in the fact that it was somebody from Rutherford County.
The Eagleville, the athletic programs there have been very good of late. It's actually been very good for a long time. Right. But of late, you've had a lot of success in a lot of different areas. Opening game of the season is always very exciting for everybody. A good environment at Eagleville last night?
It was awesome. I mean, from everything that I've been told, our stands were packed. PCA brought a great crowd. Our band, our student section was loud and boisterous, and it was just a great environment for our community. And I thought our administration and all of our game officials did a super job of monitoring everything based off the new policies that Rutherford County Schools have put into place. So it was a great experience for all involved if you were an Eagleville fan.
Well, when I've been to games at Eagleville, and it's always a lot of fun. The environment is great. The small town, it's got a very small town feel. Because it is a small town,
It is.
Right?
I mean, after all, the school belongs to the community. The football and athletic team belong to the community because they do a tremendous job of supporting us, not only from just a fan base, but from a financial standpoint too. And they invest in each and every one of these kids, and you can't ask for a better place to work.
That old school community type stuff, that's good, isn't it?
Oh man, it's great. It is absolutely fantastic. It's one of those deals to where you basically almost know every kid's name. You're familiar with all the parents. And when you talk about, everybody's got the shirts, it's got family on it, but is it truly a family deal? But when you can sit down and you can see somebody and you know their name and they know your name, that's what it's all about.
Let's talk a little bit about the game. Quarterback play, coming into the season,
Right.
You and I talked briefly, and you said, hey, the quarterback play is going to be very important for us as far as our success goes. Talk about your quarterback play and what you thought about it from last night's game.
We got two guys. We got Will Becker and Brody McLemore. We started Brody last night, and I thought overall Brody played well. Both of those kids bring different things to the table, but the big thing that we did was we wanted to make sure that you hear about game management. We wanted to make sure that they managed the game. They didn't do anything that would cost us, because I thought we were playing extremely well defensively. So if we could just not turn the ball over, get the ball out the way we're supposed to, get it to who we're supposed to, I thought we would be fine. And I thought those two kids did those things. I wish I'd played Will some more, so we got to get back down to looking at that, because again, he's going to be a good football player, considering that this is his first year. But I thought Brody did a tremendous job, especially running the ball. He's had a lot of success. He's a two-time state baseball champion, and a two-time state wrestling runner-up. So he's competitive, and he understands what it takes to finish games off.
Having a competitor like that at the quarterback position, because it's basically extension of you out there on the field. I mean, that's got to be good to have a competitor like that.
It's great to have a competitor like Brody. The thing that you have to do with Brody is sometimes, he's so competitive, and his will to win is so great that you got to kind of dial him down a little bit, especially at the quarterback position, because as you're well aware of, you watched enough games, if your quarterback is wide open and he gets on another level to where his momentum kind of takes over his play, then you could have some problems. But I thought he did a great job of containing and keeping everything under control.
10 for 12 passing. You got to be happy about that.
Yeah, I am. I put him in a situation where he threw an interception, but kids trying to make a play, and I don't have anything against that. It's just you forget about it, you move on, and I thought he did a super job of letting that play go.
Very good, Coach. Okay, so let's talk about defense here for a minute. Pitch to shutout. Got to be happy with those guys.
Pitch to shutout. I mean, those kids were flying around, and I thought for the first time, in at least the last 2 years, we were trying to be physical, and we were trying to contact people with our shoulder pads, and that was exciting to watch, especially when you contact someone and you can hear it. So we had several of those last night, and my hat goes off to those kids for getting there for shutout. I don't think we've had a shutout in a while. So
when you think about the defensive aspect of it, it boils down to some simple things at times, right? And being physical is one of them?
Being physical is one of them. And the big thing is you just got to make sure that you do your job, that you understand your alignment, you understand your assignment, and then you execute it at the very best of your ability. And I thought our kids were in the right spot for the majority of the night. And then if somebody else wasn't there, somebody covered for them because of their effort. So, again, we live by the motto, at least make them snap it again. If you make it snap them again, it's kind of difficult to put points on the board.
So eliminating big plays is one of the big schemes.
Yeah, big plays well, they can absolutely crush you. So I thought we did a good job of eliminating majority of their big plays or containing a lot of their big plays, but they've got some weapons now. So Providence Christian's going to be a good football team down the road.
When you think about running of the football and gang tackling and all that kind of stuff, you feel like you've got a good group that embraces that type philosophy as well?
I think we do. I think we've got a locker room full of kids that enjoy one another, that genuinely care about one another, and they don't really care who gets the success as long as the whole group is successful. And it was really fun to watch them celebrate one another when somebody made a play. It was really fun to watch them go and enjoy it with that person.
Let's talk a little bit about one of the defenders, big kid that can run, Dawson McCreary. I think he had 6 tackles last night. How about that kid?
Dawson played well last night. Yeah, he did. I was really pumped by the way that he attacked the line of scrimmage. I thought he did a good job of penetrating, keeping his eyes where they're supposed to be. And I think of those tackles, I think several of them were for lost yardage too. So he had a super night for us. He helped us keep down and distance in our favor. So most of the time, as you're well aware, if you can stay in second and long, third and long, you got an opportunity to get the ball back. So I thought Dawson did a super job, not only there, but he has to play offense, defense, most of the special teams too. And I thought his conditioning was super last night.
Of course, it's a little bit more of a challenge for him because he goes to I believe he goes to Central Magnet, right? So the transport and stuff. So when you think about that also adds a little bit more to his play, right?
It does. I mean, you cannot say enough about a Central Magnet kid and what they have to endure during the day academically. Get in a car, drive with traffic coming across town, basically anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Get out of the car, get dressed, get to practice for 2 hours, drive another hour home, and then do the amount of homework that's mandated by Central Magnet High School. And for the kids to do that and excel both academically and athletically, I mean, you can't say enough about them or their parents and what they've instilled in those kids.
Coach, so 1-0 Eagleville.
Yes.
How do we get to 2-0 Eagle? I know you community next week, right?
Got community next week. Got another home game, and what we'll do is we'll take this film, and it's like they always say, your biggest improvement during the season is between your first and second ball game. So we'll look at this. We'll look at our areas. We'll see what we need to tweak, and we'll get back to work on Monday.
As far as figuring things out, I mean, obviously that's always a challenge for you as a coach, as a head coach, and your coaching staff and all that stuff. But I guess, is the good news here, Coach, you think you got some pieces to the puzzle?
We do. We've got some kids that can make some plays. We've got some linemen that can handle things up front. We've just got to make sure to continue to put these kids in the right position and give them opportunities to make those plays.
So just circling back on offense, quarterback, do you think having 2 quarterbacks, does that give you a little bit more freedom as far as what you feel like you can do offensively?
I think so. We're going to look at some other things to do with Brody. We're going to look at some other things to do with Will. And we feel like we've got, after last night, we feel like we've got a more clear picture of what we need to do with those 2 young men.
Coach, when you think about starting the season with 2 games at home,
yes,
that's also a plus, right?
It is a plus, and it's especially when you're trying to break in people at a new position like a quarterback. You give them a comfortable environment. You get their peers in the stands cheering for them, and it relaxes them a lot more. Considering when you go on the road, you have to travel, make sure you got everything. And then you just really don't know what the fans may say, may do, or anything like that. And something bad goes wrong, you just lose your comfort. But for us, I think it was beneficial that we opened up at home for the first 2.
Anything else you want to add about the 1-0 Eagles, Coach?
Hey man, look, we're just excited. We've just enjoyed playing Providence Christian. They're a bunch of great people. They've got a great coaching staff. The kids are super. The fans were tremendous. We appreciate everybody that came out last night. We appreciate everything that our administration and our community does for us, and we're going to continue to try to make each and every one of those people proud.
Coach Floyd Walker, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck next week hosting community. The First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. We appreciate them bringing the Coach's Show to you, folks. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This the Cougar portion of it. I'm Danny Brewer. I am so pleased to be joined now by Middle Tennessee Christian School head coach Christian Peterson. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but it's a little easier to wake up after a win.
Yeah. Well, the very short night, I'm sure, but a very good night. 1-0 at Middle Tennessee Christian School. That's got to be pretty good for you.
Absolutely. Really proud of the kids. Game one, everyone's dealing with the cramping and the tiredness, and really proud of the fight that they had, and just never giving up and keep working to the end.
Well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, so we're going to start with some basics. Christian Peterson, I'm going to ask you how you got to Middle Tennessee Christian School, and don't tell me I took a left on Northfield and a right on Memorial, okay? So how did you get to Middle Tennessee Christian School?
Yeah, so I was coaching at my alma mater at Oviedo, and Coach Tackett was there. And so when he got the job up here, he asked me if I wanted to come up here with him. And so my wife and I came up, we checked it out, we loved it, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And, been here this will be year 3. Tackett ended up heading back to Florida, and I basically told anybody that would listen that I wanted the job and just to let me know what I needed to do. So I went through that whole hiring process and the stressfulness of waiting to see what the next step was, and very blessed to get this job and be in this spot.
So where are you from, Coach, originally?
So I'm originally from Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida, and now you're a Tennessee boy, and obviously you like it pretty good around here, right?
I do. I enjoy the seasons. In Florida there's 2 seasons. There's hot and hotter.
That's
and
it.
So, getting to play football and it's not 100 degrees the whole entire season, yeah, that's a big perk.
Now, is this your first head coaching job?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's got to be exciting. So, first head coaching job. First game and you're 1-0. Man, you've got to be awful proud. And I know you're not a promote yourself kind of guy, but you got to be awful proud to be in the position you're in right now at Middle Tennessee Christian School.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great spot. It's it's really kind of it's a great spot to have that first job. The support's amazing. The fans show up. The atmosphere was great last night. And being able to be with these kids now, going into year 3, it's a great group of kids, and I'm really excited about the future of MTCS.
A little bit of a benefit for you being that you were here, you do have familiarity with the kids, you do have familiarity with the program. Did that make it maybe a little bit easier for you? I know we're only one game into it, but still, has it been a little bit easier for you because you've been here?
So I don't know if it's ever easier, right? Whenever you kind of step into that role, it's every day there's something new. Every day you're learning more. But knowing the kids, you kind of get past that. All right, who's number 7? What's his name? Trying to figure out what everyone does well. Already kind of knew the strengths and weaknesses of all the kids on the team. I knew what it took to motivate each one, and kind of their makeup already going into it. So I think from a football standpoint, maybe it's a little bit easier. And then from all the other stuff that goes into a head coach, it's still, no matter who you are, that first job, you're kind of learning on the job and trying to get better every day.
Well, you got to figure out what works best for you, right?
Absolutely. Taking a little bit from all the different coaches I've been under, things I like, things I didn't like, and then now it's just trying to figure out the best way to implement them.
So doing it, like the Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. I mean, that's good news, bad news, because you do get to do it your way, but there's a lot of pressure that goes along with that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't really look at it as pressure per se. It's more of, just the same thing we tell the kids. Like, let's just go out and do the best that we can absolutely do every single day. And if we do that, good things are going to happen. So, it's just, sometimes it's trial and error. We had a good foundation already set that I had been a part of for the last 2 years. So we didn't change a ton. But there's some things I had done under different coaches that I liked, and so we have pulled some of those ideas in. And I have a great coaching staff. So being able to implement them all, it's been great.
When we talk about the foundation that Middle Tennessee Christian presents athletically, because there's a lot of commitment over there from everyone I feel like that's involved, talk about how much easier that's made it for you to come into something like this.
Oh, it's been great. They talk about the dream jobs. You have alignment from the top to the bottom, and there's really good alignment there. Everyone's on the same page. If a problem arises, I know who I can go talk to, and we can get it fixed pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot of pushback on if there's an issue. It's more of let's just find the solution. Let's figure out the best way that we can make it work. Everyone's in it to make sure that the kids have the best opportunity to succeed at MTCS. So it's been great.
There has been a lot of success there in football. Y'all were pretty good during your 2 years there. Y'all been pretty daggum good. So does those expectations that were created the last couple of years make it easier or tougher for you coming in this year, you think?
I don't know if it's easier or harder. It's where you want. It's what you want. Right, like you want to be somewhere where there's expectations. You want to be somewhere where winning is the expectation. I didn't want to be at a job where, you played hard, proud of you. I want to be somewhere where we're going to work hard Monday through Thursday, and then we're going to go play our best on Friday. And, our best should help us come out on top. And it's like I said, it's a great spot, and the kids play really hard.
Expecting to win, that's something that's important, you feel like, obviously.
Yeah, I think so. And our kids have that mindset of they're going to go out and they're going to give everything they got, and they expect to come out every Friday night. It's not always a realistic thing. Not everyone's going 10-0, but we have that expectation going into every Friday night that you've got a shot. And really, in high school football, that's all you can ask for, is that when that ball gets kicked off, you got a shot, and it's exciting.
Last night's game, talk about exciting. I mean, triple overtime, is that right?
Yeah, triple overtime. And so the kids came up to me when overtime started, and they're like, hey, what are the overtime rules? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to figure it out together. Let's go. I was like, I know how they do it in Florida, but I hadn't been a part of one in Tennessee. But again, the kids just kept working. Both teams had to deal with adversity last night. It's that game one. Both teams were taking punches, and it was good to see their resolve and to come out on top.
Let's talk a little bit about a couple of your players. How about your quarterback play last night?
Oh, he played fantastic. Really made sure that we were in the right place. Was smart with the ball. He made some good throws. Biggest throw of the night was that first overtime, fourth and goal from the 5. We have to score, and he bought some time. Found Grant Hawson in the end zone. That's a big time play.
And that's what you're looking for from your quarterback, right? Is a guy who's not only going to be a leader that can make plays.
Absolutely, and Yates has done a fantastic job. He's one of our captains, and he's a captain for a reason. Real vocal guy, and when the chips are all in, I trust he's going to make the best play.
Talk about your running game. I think Wilson had 100 yards last night. Is that right?
Yeah, he played well. He ran hard. We asked him to do a lot of things. We kind of move him around, put him in different spots. But he's a really good player, and so getting him the ball is always going to be a good thing for us. Really proud of how hard he played. He's got to go both ways. He played a lot of safety, played at running back, and he had a really good game.
Talk about your defense for a minute here. Because I guess what wound up being the deciding factor was You converted your 2-point conversion in overtime, and they didn't, right? Was that what boiled down to you guys winning the game?
Yeah. So they third overtime they score, and we had told the kids on the sideline throughout the entire overtime, like, listen, both teams are gonna keep going. If they score, fine. Like, they score, whatever. Keep them out of the end zone on the 2-point conversion, right? Like, obviously we want to keep them out of the end zone on the first 4, but like, if they get in, right, that play's over. Let's go make a play on the next one. So I was really proud at how they were able to put the last play behind them and go and make a play on the 2-point conversion, and then luckily we were able to convert ours.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about when you guys did convert yours. What kind of play did you run to get those two?
Yeah. So we ran counter. And we have a senior back who's played a lot of football for us, and Gabe Howe. It's one of those guys that we trusted him with the ball in his hands, and so he had made some plays in that third overtime, and even in that fourth quarter, he really started to turn it on offensively. He played a great game on defense, but offensively, it really kind of came on for him in that fourth quarter and overtime, and. He followed big old Jesse Perry around the outside and found the hole and ran behind his shoulder pads, got in the end zone.
Great to see a senior make that kind of play in that kind of situation. I mean, just rewarding for you, I know, but rewarding to see that happen for that kid.
Absolutely, and his season got cut short last year. He tore his ACL, actually out at Lakeway, and so really his first. He'd gone through some scrimmages, but we were still kind of easing him into it. So it was good to see him have that success. And, coming back from injury is always tough. So for him being able to have success there in game 1, I think is going to be really big for him moving forward.
Coach, let's talk about improvements from game 1 to game 2. A lot of times they say that those when you'll see the biggest improvements game 1 to game 2. What are you looking for as you get ready for the second week of the season?
Just to continue to clean things up. I think for the most part our calls were right. We were making the right calls, but it's first time it's the scoreboard's on and there's going to be a winner and a loser, and there were some small things here and there that would have turned a 5-yard gain into a 20-yard gain, or would have stopped them in the backfield instead of it being a 6-yard gain. And so it's just shoring up and continuing to make those plays that present themselves. I think effort was fantastic. And then as we continue to play and, get those more and more live reps, I think we just kind of keep shoring up the blocking, tackling, all those things that, get better from week 1 to week 2.
So obviously, you want to see improvement from your players from week 1 to week 2. That goes without saying. Every coach does that. What about you as a coach from week 1 to week 2? I mean, because no offense, coach, but I mean, this is your first year. Are you grading yourself, and are you looking at yourself as hey, look, there's some certain things that I need to get better at?
Absolutely. We hit dealing with cramping, things like that. It's making sure we're a little bit better with the substitutions. And it's on the special teams that I'm in charge of, right? And that can't happen. So it's things like that we've got to keep getting better at. And really it's just once we get to sit down and really break down the film, I'll have a little bit better idea of it. Everything's kind of going 100 miles an hour last night. But overall, I think our coaching staff as a whole did a pretty good job last night, especially game 1. You get into high-stakes football game, 3 overtimes. I thought the communication was well. I thought our substitutions were good. I thought the communication was good on both sides of the ball. And, it's just going to be continuing to work to make it that well-oiled machine on the sidelines.
So is it been a little bit of an eye-opener as far as what's a head coach's duties besides the X's and O's for you? Because X's and O's obviously are that's why you are the head coach. But there's a lot of other things that goes into this too, right? You mentioned about the cramping and the planning and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. So I had an old head coach that I worked with at Oviedo, and he used to joke that when you're an assistant coach, it's like 90% football, 10% other stuff. And as soon as you become a head football coach, it's the 10% football, 90% other stuff. And he's like, you just look forward to the season so you can get into your 10%.
Into the other stuff.
And,
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, every day there's something else, But again, the administration's been fantastic. They really made the transitions easier. They've been with me every step of the way. I have great parent support that have really made my job a lot easier. And, it's just keep working. Just keep taking one step forward at a time. And I kind of like we tell the kids, like, it's going to be the next play. Let's just get the next thing done on the list. Try not to do 20 things at once because you won't do any of them very well. Get one or two what needs to be done right now. Let's get that done. Then we'll move the next thing on the list. And that's kind of how I'm trying to attack it, is making sure that, I don't try and stretch myself out too thin to where we don't do anything super well. It's whatever we do, let's do it really well. And then we'll move on to the next thing.
Let's talk about the next thing. Headed to Florida for your second game of the year. Talk about that a little bit, Coach. Road trip.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. It's actually in my hometown. So we'll head out on Thursday. We'll fly down there, and then we'll be down there Thursday, Friday, and come back on Saturday. It's going to be a fun game. I'm excited. Having the opportunity to go play out of state is special. I think it's something the kids will remember forever. We definitely want to try and make that kind of a thing where every other year we're going somewhere, a different state, go play somebody new. Again, I think the experience part of that for the kids is definitely, it's a cool experience.
What do you know about Masters Academy? Because that's who you play as Masters Academy. Tell me a little bit about them.
So they got a new coach. I don't know a whole lot about them. I know there's some guys that I coached with in Oviedo that had either coached with him or coached him when he was at high school. But they're an athletic football team. They in the past have wanted to throw the ball around a little bit. So we'll kind of break that film down and see exactly what they're doing now with Krzyzek there. But it's gonna be a good test for us. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be hot. We're gonna deal with some adversity there, but again, I think the kids proved on Friday that they're not gonna back down. They're not gonna fold, and so excited for it.
Especially because it's in your hometown. I mean, is it good news, bad news for you, or just all good news?
I think it's good news. I think it's gonna be cool. My mom's gonna be able to be at that game. They were on NFHS last night watching the game, and got some texts from a lot of people back home last night and this morning. So it's gonna be cool. There's gonna be, our parents are gonna travel. They travel everywhere. There's gonna be we're gonna have a good crowd. And then I'll have quite a bit of people that I know that are going to be at that game. So it's going to be fun.
This travel game, is that part of this Cougar wave that's building? Because like I said, Middle Tennessee, like we touched on earlier, Middle Tennessee Christian Athletics has gotten really good in the last few years. But is this part of that wave that you are going out of state to play? You think that that's important for the program?
I think so. I think continuing to get our name out there. The more people know about us, the better for us. We're such a small school and really haven't played football for that long, really in the grand scheme of things.
You're right about that.
We're what, 16 years or something like that. So when you really look at some of the history of some of the schools that are around us that have been playing football forever, the Oaklands, the Riverdales, that they've been, like, everyone knows who they are. They've been playing for 100 years. For us, it's about trying to build it the right way. We don't want to be in a microwave where we don't lay the foundation. We want to do it the right way and build the thing up to where it's steady for years to come.
When you think about football in this county, and I know that Oakland, Riverdale, Smyrna, they're all on a different plane because they're 6A schools, but still, is it important for you to be part of a really good football community like we have here in Rutherford County?
Absolutely. Rutherford County is, arguably the best county for football in the entire state. So you want to kind of hold that standard up. It's not okay to be just okay, right? Like, the standard in Rutherford County is state championships. And so that's what we're working towards. That's our goal.
Coach, anything else you want to add about Middle Tennessee Christian football right now, the 1-0 Cougars? Anything else?
Really, again, I just want to emphasize how proud of the kids I am. It would have been really easy. Game 1, non-district game. Some things didn't go our way. It would have been really easy to go, oh, maybe tonight's just not our night. We'll pack it up. We'll try and win next week. And I never felt that on the sidelines. It was always, let's go make the next play. Let's go make the next play. Yeah, they got that one. Who cares? Let's go make the next play. And that's going to bode really well as we continue down the season.
I think that Middle Tennessee Christian folks should be really excited, and I think we got the slogan for the next T-shirt. Christian Peterson said it here first. It's not okay to just be okay. And I don't think you're going to be just okay. I think you're going to be really good, Coach. Congratulations, 1-0 Christian Peterson, head coach, Middle Tennessee Christian School. We super appreciate your time and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate what you guys do.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back to MTCS Cougar Corner and our show presented by TOA, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Time to catch you up to date on some of the things that happened this week. We got a couple of volleyball scores and varsity soccer to talk about. First, let's go to soccer as St. Andrews defeated Middle Tennessee Christian School 3-1 on Thursday. Coach Stewart saying kind of started out slow in the first 40, but played better and much faster in the second half, and down 1-0 at halftime. Joanna Lafort shot the ball around 45 yards out to get the ball past the keeper, but late in the game, St. Andrews scored off a corner, and with less than a minute to go, they scored again to take the 3-1 victory over Middle Tennessee Christian School. Senior keeper Lindsey Wisnowski scored 19 saves, recorded 19 saves in goal, I should say. So first game under the belt of the season for MTCS girls soccer. To volleyball, and on Monday, first game of the season, and MTCS took down Rockvale in 3 straight sets. The Cougars opening up district play on Thursday. We'll talk about that as well. The JV team also got a win to start the season over the Lady Rockets. In that game versus Rockvale, Anna Clay Shirley with 19 kills, 5 aces, and 7 digs. Haley Hudson with 23 assists, 4 digs, 2 aces. Addison Burks with 11 digs, 6 aces, 2 assists. Jada Burns, 9 kills, 2 digs. Lily Watson had 6 kills, 5 blocks, and a dig. Maddie Moore with 2 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 digs. It was Jessie Pierce with 6 digs. Bailey Culpepper with a kill, 2 digs, an ace, and a block. And Maddie Box with 3 digs and a kill. Sarah Plant with an ace. 3-0 over Rockvale. Then on Thursday,
another 3-0 straight set victory over Grace Christian in district play. Now 1-0 in the district. The Cougars playing today. We'll talk about that on the upcoming schedule in just a moment. And the JV team, they're off to a 2-0 start as well. In the win over Grace Christian, Anna Clay Shirley, 14 kills, 7 digs, and an ace. She's got a 700 hitting percentage. At 717 is Lily Watson with 10 kills and 2 blocks. 29 assists, 8 digs, 3 aces, and a kill for Haley Hudson. Addison Burks with 11 digs, 5 aces, 2 assists, and a kill. Jada Burns, 5 kills, make that 8 kills and 5 digs. It was Maddie Box with 8 digs and an ace. Maddie Moore, 2 kills and a block. Jesse Pierce with 2 digs, an ace, and an assist. And Bailey Culpepper with 2 digs and 1 assist. So a couple of the results from this past week. Volleyball is at MTCS with the Girls Varsity Invitational going on today. On Monday, you got some JV middle school volleyball going on at PCA, as well as varsity and JV. The JV will be at Columbia Academy, and you've also got varsity at Columbia Academy, as well as middle school varsity playing at Providence Christian. Soccer, girls varsity soccer versus Franklin Christian Academy at MTCS on Monday. Tuesday brings some varsity volleyball as MTCS will host University School of Nashville, and soccer will play the Middle Tennessee Golden Eagles at home as well, 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. Thursday brings a flurry of activity with 5th and 6th grade football playing at Nashville Christian, also girls junior varsity, volleyball at Franklin Christian Academy, JV middle school, girls volleyball hosting Easel Harding. The 5:30 game will be the girls varsity volleyball team at Franklin Christian Academy. Girls soccer at 6 o'clock hosting University School of Nashville. I think I mentioned that. And football, middle school football at Nashville Christian on Thursday night at 6:30. And, of course, next week's varsity football game at Masters Academy for the Cougars. Girls varsity volleyball in a tournament at Oakland, as well as the JV. So that's a look at what's coming up. A busy week in Cougar athletics. I encourage you to check mtcsports.com for all of the events that are upcoming at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Well, that's going to wrap up our coaches' conversation this morning. I want to thank you so very much for joining us. Thanks to Coach Peterson for being here this morning here on Cougar Corner, and for Danny and his work talking to Coach Peterson, and all the coaches who made their way in on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. I mentioned Danny Brewer, John Dinkins back in the saddle again here in the studio, so good to have him here as well, and our producer, Dalton Barrett, this morning. I'm Brian Barrett. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday. It's week 2 of the high school football season next week, and we'll be talking about it right here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner. Have a great Saturday, everybody.
On his word and said that I shouldn't have done that because I was going to run off good help. I explained to him how is it good help if he doesn't show up on time